The inhabitants of the West Bank are subjected to severe restrictions of their right to freedom of movement, which are implemented through more than 500 checkpoints, roadblocks, and other types of physical obstacles, as well as system of permits. There are 149 settlements in the West Bank, inhabited by some 408,000 settlers. In addition to the confiscation of Palestinian-owned land settlements, land in the West Bank is also taken by the elaborate network of bypass roads connecting settlements with each other and with Israel. On 24th September, the Israeli army announced a new land confiscation for a road east of Jerusalem, which would further cut the city off from the rest of the West Bank. The West Bank is increasingly being fragmented into ever smaller parts, which render the viability of the Palestinian state less and less likely. Director General, Excellencies, in addition, 80% of the separation wall is currently being built in occupied territory, taking in the best Palestinian agricultural land and other resources. With recent extensions in the southern part of the West Bank, the separation wall will now encompass some 13% of its territory. The 2004 advisory opinion of the International Court of Justice on the legal consequences of the building of the separation wall in occupied Palestinian territory has gone unheeded today. There are some 11,000 Palestinian prisoners detained in Israel, whom almost 400 are children. The cities and the towns on the West Bank are subjected to constant military incursions, arrests, search operations, as well as targeted assassinations. Director, Excellencies, the situation of human rights in the Gaza Strip is even more dire, and it is facing a rapidly deteriorating humanitarian crisis. The Gaza has been cut off from the rest of the world since June, when all the crossings in and out of it have been closed. The Israeli army has carried out regular incursions into Gaza and destroyed property there. Gaza is subjected to repeated airstrikes and targeted assassinations of militants, in which innocent civilians are often hurt or killed. Seriously ill Palestinian patients from Gaza have increasingly been denied access to hospitals in Israel, and their number has fallen from an average of 40 in July to less than 5 a day in September. In October, a 21-year-old cancer patient from Gaza died after his entry into Israel was delayed for 10 days. Director, the situation in Gaza deteriorated further when it was declared hostile territory or enemy entity by Israel. A number of Israel banks have stopped dealing with the banks in Gaza, which makes the sending of remittances from abroad more and more difficult and is starting to cause cash shortages. At the end of October, in violation of international law, the government of Israel started reducing the supply of electricity and fuel to the Gaza Strip, which is likely to endanger, among other things, the functioning of hospitals and sewage and water services, and amounts to collective punishment of some 1.5 million inhabitants. Director General, Excellencies, the international community needs to take urgent measures to remedy the current situation of human rights in the occupied territory through a peaceful, just and lasting solution that would lead to the end of occupation and would enable the Palestinian people to exercise their right to self-determination in a viable Palestinian state. Thank you.